there's many things you can do with a piece of rotten Chinese plywood. And today I'm going to show you how to refurbish this plywood. And I'll show you something else you could do with the plywood too, if you choose to. There's 100,000 ants can't be wrong. What you could do with this rotten Chinese plywood that lasted exactly 2 years is you could do something like this. You could smack yourself in the head with it for buying it, or you could eat it like this. This is 1/2-inch marine plywood, Chinese marine plywood. Huh? Now, gets a little tough around the solid parts, but you get the idea. You could use it for roughage, or what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you this pile that I have of plywood and how we're going to refurbish it. Okay. How do I... Oh, honey, wait, I can't see. Hold on, I just have to figure out how to get this back. All right, I got it. Now we're going to show you this pile of rotten plywood. See this stuff here? Now, where I had it on the overhangs and where it was doubled up, you could see it's rotted, right? I mean, there's no doubt. Watch out. Hold the plywood down. Watch, see? This is 1/2-inch marine plywood. That's 2 years old. And you know how much I love this Chinese plywood. So much that I eat it when I'm off camera. So what we're going to do is in order to refurbish it, we're going to make as big of pieces out of this stuff as we can. So naturally this side here, this 6 inches or 4 inches off the edge here, where the water went into the end grain, we're going to cut that off. What you're going to need to make this stuff square pieces usable is a 4-foot T-square. Okay, now these are 4-foot T-squares. You can use this for cutting sheetrock or plywood, or just making the end of a room square or a floor square. And they make these in 4-foot and 6-foot lengths. That's one tool that you're going to need. Now these have a numbering device on them. You can either start from this side or from the other side and count up to 48. One side goes up to 16, the other side goes up to 6. Okay, there are usages for that, but we're not going to involve ourselves with that right now. So another thing that you're going to need is you're going to need a red and black. In this case, it's at Home Depot. I have a red and black downstairs from Ozone Park Lumber, but I used this one because it was the first one that came out of the drawer. The second thing Daisy is holding, what are you holding in your hand?
Chalk. The yellow chalk and the red chalk marker.
Right. It's like a chalk. It's like a crayon, yeah?
Yeah.
It's like a chalk, or the Filipinos would call it chalk. We would call it a crayon. Okay, so you're gonna, now if you have, I always keep one color of each in my pouch. I don't have my pouch on now because I don't need it. So the reason I keep 2 colors in my pouch is because Daisy's going to make a pencil mark. Watch this. See the pencil mark?
Guba.
Guba, huh? Just make a pencil mark. Okay. Now, see that pencil mark? What happens is after you walk away from it for a little while, sometimes it disappears, or sometimes you have to come back the next day and it's almost gone. So what you do, on a color like this brown, you'd mark it with red. Make a circle around it. So now you know that pencil mark is the one you want. Now if it was a different color wood, you'd use the yellow. You'd make a circle around it with the yellow. if it was like a dark brown or a black. Okay, so you need that. These are the tools that make it easy. You could do this without any tools. You could do it with a knife by marking this with an edge, scratch it with a nail, scratch it with a knife, and you're going to need a snap line. The 4-foot T-square, you could work it from both ends of a 4x8 plywood, or if it's an 8-foot piece, you put a mark like this on each side, and you put a pencil mark on with the T-square if it's the 4-foot, or you could snap a line. So what we're going to do now is Daisy is going to come over here. Okay, right, you stand on top of the sill, right here on this sill, and you should be able to get the plywood and myself and the tools in there. I don't care if you get my head in there or not. Just make sure you get the job. Okay?
Okay.
That's perfect like that. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you both ways to make a mark across the piece of plywood. So the first way is for some people would be, of course, if you have a square edge to start off with, like we do in the back here, you could just take this and you slide it along the edge and holding it firmly, and you make a pencil mark. Now make sure you hold this, otherwise it's going to move on you. You make a pencil mark across the plywood. That's one way. The second way would be to make a mark over here. Okay, let's just circle it in red just for argument's sake. And then we're going to make a mark on this side down here with the pencil. Okay, and I can't see that mark, so when I circle it, it becomes very visible. Okay, and then we're going to use this, is called the snap line. Inside here is a red chalk dust. Now, it needs to be filled up, but there's enough chalk in here for me to make a line that I can see. But before the end of the day, I'm going to have to fill this up. And sometimes it runs out of chalk, so what you do is you close it up and bang it this way, bang it this way, bang it this way, bang it this way. Of course, close that zipper and bang it this way. Okay, and then you move whatever loose chalk there is around inside the unit. Okay, and this snap line is called a straight line. It was probably made back in the 1960s, and it also doubles as a plumb bob by hanging it like this. You hang it from a hook off of a joist or a header, and this will give you a vertical line so you don't have to use a level. You lock this up like this, and you hold this like this, and if you're going to put a door frame in or something like that, when it stops, that's why they call it a plumb bob. So this is a different tool that you'd be using to do this type of work here. Now, I don't have, okay, so I have the snap line, and I don't have free hands yet. Let me know when it goes back live.
It's live now.
Okay, well, we had a little bit of a disconnect. We're having trouble with the globe in the Philippines, so I'm going to show you. If you have a 4-foot line that you have to snap, you can hold the right side with your right hand. You can hold the left side with your left hand, and then you can just bend down, pick it with your teeth, and then if you notice, one straight snap line. Pick it with your teeth like Jimi Hendrix picked his guitar with his teeth, the same way. So that's another way. It's a little bit more manly of a method. Well, a lot of people say, I don't want to get chalk dust in my mouth. I don't like dust. And it's only chalk. It's just a regular talcum powder with a color in it. The next thing you can use, I use is a chainsaw, because I don't care. It only has to be what we call a rough cut. it's a cross grain cut, and I'm just going to make the one cut. I still have the other two sides to do. I'll do this cut first. Now, okay, now I use a chainsaw because it's a pain in the neck to drag a skill saw up here, and this is going to be something that I really don't care much about for accuracy. If it was off a 1/4 inch, if it floated left or right a 1/4 inch, that would be okay. Now normally what I would do is I trim this out, just cut this off like that. So I'm going to go to the other side and check the other side, which is completely rotting, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did a few minutes ago. We know we're only going to use the red, so I'm only taking the red chalk, and I'm only taking the red crayon, or what we call the red chalk. I'm going to measure a size that's a convenient size, 36 or 42. If I can get 42 out of this, which I know I can't, so I'm going to go to the 36 inches, because we know it's going to be rotting back 2 or 3 inches here at least. So I'm going to put a mark on this side again at 36, and this side at 36. Just for educational purposes, I'm going to redo the same steps. Red crayon mark, because sometimes one day you're marking and the next day you're cutting. Could rain at night, and then the line disappears. So to recap, Jimi Hendrix Snapline Educational Tools. Okay, now you got to make sure that line is vertical, otherwise it'll bounce around. You'll have 2 or 3 lines. In my case, I don't care, and if it was sheetrock, it wouldn't matter. But that's something you want to try to get that line vertical when you pull it to snap it. So now we have 2 pieces of scrap that I'm going to use for shim stock. I have another container, another job to do with this. I'm going to use it for, actually I'm just going to use it for shim stock. Or I'm going to use it for walking over concrete as a kind of a knee pad, but a disposable type of knee pad. So this edge here is good. We're going to the final edge, and all right, so what I'm going to do this time, I'm just going to mark it with the pencil to show you how, and just another way that it can be done. I'm going to mark it from the inside. We know that that's square, or close to square, and it only has to be close to square for the job I'm doing. I'm just going to use this as forms, and it's only going to be, they're going to be random sheets. They're going to be doubled up. They're going to be used 2 or 3 times. They're going to be scrapped out for plywood, firewood. Okay, so basically we should have a 3 foot by 3 foot piece, 36 by 36, 35 and 3/4 by 35 and 3/4. For all intent and purposes, it's 3 foot. And it's perfect for what we're doing on this shop. So, ladies and gentlemen, depending on what you want to do, flip it up a little bit so you can, with your Chinese.
Your face?
What?
With your face?
Yeah. You can eat it. Doesn't taste so good. Got a lot of bacteria in there, so try not to swallow. So you could mulch it. By mulching it, you could mulch it with your teeth, or you could, if you want to go about it in a girly man fashion, you could do it like this with your fingers. Or you could just keep chopping it up with a chainsaw, or you could just crunch it up a little bit more and put it in a pile of dirt, and in 6 or 7 months it'll be fertilized. And this particular plywood will not only make a good fertilizer, but it gets some kind of weird mushroom that gets hard like a rock on the north side of the building. Believe it or not. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Michael Fazio, and Daisy, you will go in the picture, please. Now, you're not going to believe what I'm about to tell you, but actually, Daisy, she likes chewing on that more than, no? But Kakunko. She doesn't chew on the plywood. She's not much into that at all. Yeah, baby, look, she's making toothpicks. Yeah, baby. Oh my God, it's the first. How is that?
Tastes good.
Tastes good?
Mm.
All right. So say hello to everybody. Did anybody say hello?
Only Princess Anud.
Princess Anud. Okay, hello, Princess Anud. All right, ladies and gentlemen, anybody that watches this, have a nice day. All right, I see somebody commenting. Hello, Tom. Yeah, she's got a nice hard hat. That's from New York City, courtesy of New York City DEP. They love giving me presents. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Tom and Ruth, I apologize, but what we're going to do is we're going to pack. I got a few more pieces. Did you see the best thing to do with the Chinese plywood, Tom and Ruth, is to recycle it. All right. Honey, give me a nice fresh piece from there. Yeah. Is to recycle it. And the best way to recycle it is with your teeth. No. This is Chinese plywood. This is what they make Chinese food out of. This and quadrupeds. You used it. Okay, so there's nothing more to tell you. Shit lasts 2 or 3 years, baby. And then you could use it for mouthwash or teeth cleaning. You know, if you got teeth, I mean, you know. It'd be hard for hard for you to do that. You'd be a bitch gumming this shit. But that's my basic way I make my fertilizer like that. The best way is because just like when you eat food, the saliva in your stomach, the acid, the saliva starts to break down the wood before it gets to your stomach. The same way when you dump it into the corner of the yard, the saliva, or what they call laway in Philippines, in Visayas, laway is saliva. The laway breaks down the plywood before you dispose of it into the backyard. And not only that, if no one's looking and you're really hungry, you could probably use it as a food supplement. No, I don't have heartburn. It's like I don't get headaches. I don't really ever get a headache. I think I get like 1 or 2 headaches a year. It's like a combination of a whole bunch of things. Not alcohol though. That doesn't. I don't drink enough alcohol to get a headache. So what we're gonna do now is when you're not watching, I'm gonna have snack before dinner. All right. So God day to everybody. Yeah. Tom and Ruth, thanks for stopping by. And any of the people that do actually stop by and see Tom and Ruth's name over there, you should go check out their channel. They run a much cleaner, neater channel, and you won't see Tom and Ruth chomping down on rotting Chinese plywood, because this plywood is 2 years old. Now it's 2.5 years old now. And I painted it with an oil-based paint, thinned out 25%, so it wouldn't lock the water in, but it would let it breathe, but it would also act as a deterrent, like a wax on wood. Didn't mean jack shit to this stuff. This stuff just rotted. No plywood. You know what, Tom? I've heard that story before. I don't do this and I don't do that. And then 20 minutes later, you're out in the backyard looking for something rotten to chew on. I know you. I could tell. You have that kind of, that very calm. It's always the calm ones that you got to worry about. It's the ones that like when you were dating, right? You go to the high school dance, you got the girl with the biggest eyelashes and the most makeup, and she's got earrings, big, and you think, wow, this one's gonna take me for a carousel ride. No, not that one. It's the one that in the private parochial school that doesn't talk, the one that's just very shy. That's the one. That's the one that's going to take you for a carnival ride. Yeah, baby. That's it. And that's my philosophy and the truth. That's the truth. No bakakun. Umping permi, everybody. Yeah, the librarian type, right? The ones that look like Wonder Woman. Yeah, baby. Come on over here, honey.
I'm not fit.
That's it, baby. We're gonna say goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.
Umping Permi from Michael Fazio and
This is me
in the Philippines, baby.